Hi there, welcome back to another one of these unscripted, unedited videos. My name's QB. Today we're going to be talking about languages because I think we covered everything mechanics related that all the sheets and everything that is needed so far mechanically. So let's get back into the lore, why don't we? So what we're going to be going into is languages. So for the campaign of Steal the Skies, there are 6 total languages. These are essentially trade languages, international languages. The world is very vast. There are a lot of different countries, a lot of empires that subsumed other countries. There are a lot of languages. But to make things easy on players, on me, on everybody, we've narrowed it down to 6. And so these are, like I said, trade languages and other languages that were developed to basically coincide with empires or with groups of different regions to be able to interact. The skill level of learning a language is on your character sheets based on from a scale of about 20 to 100. If you have 20 in a specific language, then you understand the basics of that language. You can ask for directions, you can ask where the bathroom is, you can understand just very minor basic things. If you have 50 points in a language, then you are considered fluent. You are able to communicate in that trade language and that major language as is without any issues. You might get hung up on like postgraduate dictionary type words. You might have issues with older versions of it, like if you were to read something, like if you were today to read something in Old English, you might be a little bit confused, but you might be able to get by. All entirely dependent on rolling for situations like that. Or languages that are close to, as in part of the constructed trade language, but not exactly the language. You'd be able to pick out pieces and parts and be like, okay, I kind of understand that, yeah. But basically, when it comes to those specific languages within the region, you would be at about 20. Your skill rating would be at about 20 again. However, if you are if your skill rating is at 100 over a language, you know that language. You know its family, you know its word origins, you are very confident, and you can speak to people in families similar to that main language without any issues. You'd be able to fully read ancient texts of the proto version of that language without any issues. So basically, once you have 50 in a language, you can keep going. You can definitely get to that 100 because there might be situations where you'll need to read an old script, or someone doesn't know the trade part of the language, or the overarching language, or something like that. So definitely because I see a lot of times in games I played in the past where once you get 50, you're fluent and you don't need any more. You're great, which makes it pointless to have it go all the way up to 100. But now there's a reason to. And definitely definitely treating the language skills as their own skills, like everything else, where you got to continually increase to get better at it. That's something to keep working on and keep going for. So The 6 major languages, you have Gaulthean, which is basically the trade language that developed all the way from King Wraithwall's Gaulthean Alliance up into Valendia. So if you're in Arcades, if you're in the Gaulthean Alliance, the new Gaulthean Alliance, if you're in New Lemures, having Gaulthean is good. Next up, we have Jalindian, which is spoken in Brecca, Jilind, and Vidro. This is kind of just merging the entire gap here together. While Gaulthean was a kind of like an imperial language that was from Wraithwall's time just spread. Jalindian was kind of crafted together through a bunch of trade networks that created the language together. Oscurian, as we talked about in a previous episode, Oscaria and Stretton used to be one nation together, but due to a civil war, they broke off into 2 nations, and to kind of work together due to being close to each other, Trebithica also follows the same rules and the same principles as Oscarian. Next up, we have Riven, which is just in the giant section of Rivencrag, everything south of the Yacht that's here, and the Yacht that's here within this region speaks the one language. Next up, we have Rosarion, which is everything above this Yacht to the just in this Yacht pocket, including Waspor. Waspor kind of takes both Jalindian and Rosarion, but the majority of the people there speak Rosarion. Last up, we have Eudrin, which is the Holy Eudrin Empire. Due to proximity, Raspa also follows the same principles as Eudrin. Same with New Lemures. Parts of New Lemures, like the Gaug City, interestingly, since we have some explanation, actually speaks Jalindian, so part of it is Eudrin, part of it is Jalindian, just because and old New Lemures would be technically Gaulthean over here. Actually, it would kind of be not exactly Gaulthean. Anyways, we could get into the nuance of that later. Basically because the Agel separated and was closed off from the world before Wraithwall and the Gaulthean Alliance was a thing. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Why'd they understand each other in Ravnet Rings? Video games, who knows? Especially in the Holy Eudrin Empire, a lot of these cities here were part of their own micro nations, or larger nations, depending on the situation. So they all have their own languages, but they can speak Eudrin for trade and part of the empire and everything like that. So, yeah. Instead of having languages be based on species specific, they are region based, like in the real world. There are some like closer knit species like Baknami or Uriton that have their own languages, but that is addressed as the same as with different subgroups within these kingdoms. But yeah, so that's languages. That is the explanation of why, of what each skill level means, between having a skill rate of 20, 50, and 100, why you want to keep moving upwards past 50, and what the 6 different languages are based on region. So, yeah, next time we'll talk about something else. There's a couple more topics, and I'm excited to get into them. Bye for now.